Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Luke Mindpower. Welcome to the High Vibe Project. Understanding the law of attraction is what we're going to be talking about today. I want to welcome Rianne, Natalia, and Alexander from South Africa. Natalia, you're from the Netherlands or Denmark? I think she's from Denmark, yes. And Rianne is from the Netherlands. It's amazing. We've got people from around the world together. I welcome everybody who's watching this on a replay as well. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this on our podcast, don't forget to click that subscribe button on YouTube so that you're notified when we do release any more replays because we're doing this every weekend. So it's great to have you all here. I hope that you get so much value out of this. Please utilize the chat section here should be on your right. If you have any questions at all for the panelists, because I know myself as well, the law of attraction is a big topic. There's a lot of things that come into understanding with this practice of the law of attraction. It's so powerful. It's so amazing when you connect with it, and it will allow you, as I say it, I truly believe it, that you can manifest your dreams if you connect and understand deeply the law of attraction. So I'm going to go straight to the panelists. And I'd like to go to Rianne first. And Rianne, if you could please introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. So nice to be here. And yeah, I'm Rianna. I'm from the Netherlands. And I recently started as a coach. And I also have my own company, Modern Goddess. And I really guide women to back to their true self, to come back in contact with the intuition. And myself, I was always running away from myself. And I was always distracting myself with all kinds of things. And then I ended up in a burnout. I had a lot of health issues. And then I started to take my responsibility for my life, and I really took a look at the people I surround myself with, and from then everything changed. I really started to dive inside, and amazing things happened. So that's a little short story about me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rianne. That's it's really inspiring. We've all gone through our own different kind of challenges in our life, and it takes these kind of experiences for us to, as I like to say, awakening or wake up or kind of redirect your life in a different way because that's not working, So thank you so much for sharing that. I just want to go now to Natalia. If you would like to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically what I do is that I work as a facilitator and a catalyst for people's awakening, and what I call myself is a manifestation coach. What it really encompasses is more than that, though, because in order to be able to manifest and use the law of attraction, and in order to be able to do that successfully, you need to have healed a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of trauma. So really, being a manifestation coach is also about teaching people how to love themselves and teaching people how the universe really works. It's a highly spiritual method, highly spiritual. And the basis of the teachings is obviously the law of attraction, but it's also oneness and awakening to who we truly are. So that's what I do both on my channels and in my work with people.
Beautiful, Natalia. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Really looking forward to diving deeper into what because obviously we all have our different knowledge banks that we carry. So it's going to be great to get to know you more and to extract that power from you so that we can all learn and also kind of elevate our state of consciousness and take us to that next step to reaching our goals and dreams. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Alexander, where are you, man? Lex from South Africa.
Yes, I am here. I'm just struggling with the video currently.
That's all right, man.
I have someone helping me.
We can
I have
hear
someone
you.
helping me.
That's
I'm still here.
awesome, man. Awesome. So why don't you just introduce yourself for us, man, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, perfect. First and foremost, thank you, Luke, for having me on this panel, and thank you to Natalia and Rianne for also being on this panel and showcasing and sharing, their wisdom. Me myself, I've been a sportsman my whole life. I've been semi-pro footballer. So in terms of the world of fitness, I've been involved in that since I was 6 years old, pretty much. So as soon as I could walk or use these two legs, two left feet, as they like to say, until you can make them one. And from that, I got into a lot of other disciplines, athletics, gymnastics sort of disciplines. And then I transitioned into CrossFit, which is more of your high intensity interval training. That's more specific based on longevity in terms of a lifestyle, as opposed to a focused sports outlook. And what I do now is I've got an IT degree, which I studied at the University of Johannesburg. That degree allowed me to work in different companies, IT related, anything from software to hardware. My mainstay was networking as well as administration, and a bit of software here and there in terms of development. However, I started to wake up and get sort of jolts of questioning my reality, questioning, the 9 to 5, the up and down, and pretty much the insanity of it all, because it started to drain my energy. And in that there, I started to look for answers. I started to then slowly, by obviously stages, small, slow stages, building up with momentum, cutting out and disregarding things which no longer serve me. That can be anything from a relationship to emotionally to programming which I've held from a very young child, which got shaken up. And I then started to do the shadow work. And in every facet of my life, from career-wise, what I do, which I now run my own IT company. I provide graphic design as well as software development, web development, etc., as well as do creative things in light of music, events. I'm very out there on the streets, as they would say, in terms of just looking for new talent, up and comers, very creative beings out there. So that has also been a nice thing which I've incorporated into my IT side of life, because I do all of the graphic designs and then I connect all of these creative people, videographers, musicians for a common goal. So that's all become my lifestyle. So it's the fitness, it's the IT wizard, and it's also manifestation in terms of bringing this all together, attracting the like-minded beings, the scenarios, and also just the vibe which it brings in terms of finally coming home to finding my authentic self.
Amazing, bro. I love it. There's a lot that you said there, and yeah, I resonate again. I've had to become my social media guru. I've had to learn how to make graphics and make my own content and all that kind of stuff that I'd never ever knew how to do before. And I think that's what stops a lot of people in their life, because they question themselves and they think, oh, I don't know how to do it, so I'm not going to start, and so one thing that I've adapted to understanding is, don't think too much about what you need to do, just start. Don't have to be great to start, but you have to start if you want to be great, and learn as you go. Thank you so much, Alexander, or Lex, as I call you. It's going to be a great conversation. I'm really excited for it. Now, I'm going to move straight into the law of attraction. And again, once, as I said before, please, if you have any questions, please write in the chat box so that we can, connect with that question, and one of our panelists can answer it, if not myself, Rihanna, Natalia, or Lex. But funny enough, I was having a conversation with my family over lunch today, and my brother-in-law asked me, what is the law of attraction? And one thing that I'm not really used to is I haven't been able to actually go dive deep into a lot of the things that I believe in, a lot of the things that I talk about, in this whole spiritual life, in this constant conscious expansion of my world, in the evolution of who I am as a personality, as a speaker, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's living and breathing their truth. And so he said, what is the law of attraction? And I kind of got a bit stuck, because I was like, shit, this is an interesting conversation. I'm speaking to my family and they're asking me to talk about the law of attraction. And so I started to say, you attract what you are. Like, I am the perfect example of the law of attraction. I wouldn't be connecting with the people that I'm connecting with if I wasn't vibrating on the frequency that I'm vibrating on. I'm the more that you become, the better, the more that you attract. And so, or the better that you become, the better that you attract. That's something that I believe anyway. But then I found a deeper meaning into the understanding as to what he thought the law of attraction was, and why he asked me the question. So the question that he asked me was, what is the law of attraction? And his key word was attraction, as in relationships. So he thought that the law of attraction had to do with relationships. And I didn't understand that. I didn't see that until later in the conversation. So for anyone who's thinking about it, understanding the law of attraction, it's actually, what I believe is, law of attraction is everything. It doesn't just work in your relationships or in your personal life or in your professional life. It's absolutely everything. So I want to go straight to Rihanna. If you would like to please share with us your knowledge on what is the law of attraction to you.
Yeah, I believe that everything that is going on in our inner world, also how we feel, that we attract that in the outer world. So what my own experience was, I was surrounded by people who were not, who were not having the best intentions for me. They were really loving people, but I was wanting more from life. There was a lot of negativity, there was a lot of drama. It was draining. And I surround myself with these people out of loyalty. I thought, okay, I know these people already for such a long time. I really have to stay with them. And when I ended up in the burnout, I really took a clear look in my life. And I was like, okay, everything has to change. I have to take a look at my life, the people who I surround myself with, the things I'm doing, my limited beliefs, what I believe about myself, the emotions that are going on in my body. I have to dive deep inside and just take a look to everything. And I decided to break up, not only with my boyfriend back then, but also with certain friendships that were not vibing anymore with me. So that was a difficult decision for me. But that changed everything in my life. Instead of running away, I was going inside. And with that, I started to attract also other people in my life, other situations, other experiences. So that was really amazing. And also, the limited beliefs we have about ourselves, they're so strong in us. Also, how we grew up on school and what our parents tell us, or what teachers tell us, or what friends tell us. At some point, we start to believe this about ourselves. At least, if I'm talking from my own experience, I was starting to believe things that were not true. So I really started to look at my own limited beliefs, and I was like asking myself, is this 100% true? And is this actually mine? And then I start to realize, whoa, no. All these thoughts and limited beliefs I have about myself are just not true. So I start to also add on self-love rituals, affirmations, and step by step, everything started to change in my outer world because I was diving inside myself.
That's pretty awesome. You mentioned self-love rituals, and obviously a part of the law of attraction is, learning to trust yourself, learning to love yourself, because the more you love yourself, the more you're in tune with yourself, the higher your vibration. So you just mentioned, I just want you to quickly go into, when you say rituals, self-love rituals, what is a self-love ritual?
Self-love rituals are for me doing affirmations. So really telling myself that I'm powerful because I am powerful, that I am, that I am, I am that I am beautiful, I am healthy, this kind of things. And self-love rituals are also writing down everything that is going on in my inner world. So really expressing my feelings and everything that I feel. Also dancing, also meditate, and being in stillness. All these kind of aspects I see as self-love rituals, and that brought me closer to myself, step by step.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Natalia, the law of attraction. What is the law of attraction, and how do you implement it into your life so that you can manifest the life of your dreams?
Well, the law of attraction is the universal law that this time-space reality is governed by. And that means that whether you believe in the law of attraction or you don't believe in the law of attraction, it doesn't really matter. It's going to have an effect on your life either way. And the law of attraction is, we're talking about here that we're all at the essence, we're all energy, right? And the law of attraction is like, works like, it gathers similar energies to each other. And that means if you have a great energy and if you feel great, then the law of attraction will attract things of similar frequencies to you. So you will be attracting great things, other people who feel great, etc. And if you feel bad, the law of attraction will make sure, and this is where it becomes really, it's not unfair, but it's just people, if you feel bad, you're going to attract bad things into your life as well, and you're going to attract other people who feel the way that you feel, which means you're going to attract other people who also feel bad. So just like you said, Luke, the law of attraction, you attract what you are. So the vibration you hold and the feelings you have and the thoughts you're thinking, they're going to be mirrored to you in your world, both through events, people, and circumstances. Literally, there's no exception from this rule, from this law. It doesn't matter if you're a person who's like, oh, this is a little, crazy. I don't think that that's real. This person will still, if they're in a bad mood, be matched up with things of the similar frequency. And I think we can all kind of relate to this situation when you get out of bed in the morning and you're in a bad mood, and then you spill the coffee, and then your phone breaks, and then so, when we're on a downward spiral is what I would call it. So, but it's very useful though to know this information, because once you know this information, you can start to use it to your own advantage, right? So you can start to be like, okay, since I know that I attract what I am, maybe my first priority should be to feel good and to be well. Maybe that should be my first priority, maybe over all my chores and doing the dishes and making sure to please everyone else and everything. Maybe my first priority should just be that I feel good, because then I will attract good things and things that I want, then it's going to go on the upward spiral. Yeah, so very simply put, the law of attraction is that we attract what we are and what we feel and what we think. That's the short answer. And then there are a lot of layers to the law of attraction, but we're all kind of, but there's one thing though, which is that since we live in a time-space reality, there is kind of a buffer of time though. So it's not like, let's say some people say, oh, you just think it and you can have it. And that's not really the case. It doesn't work instantly like that. I can't be thinking about a new car in 5 minutes go down to the street and he'll be there for me. It doesn't work like that. You have to continuously visualize the things you want, think about them, and feel good at the same time to attract them. And then in time, you will be led down a path that will end up with the result of you getting a car, you know? So it's a little more complicated than that, but simply put, we attract what we are.
Yep, I understand what you're saying. And it could be also, you know, narrowed down into a form of believing in yourself, because, you know, you have, if you want to achieve something in your life, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, well, then you're not going to believe that it's possible, right? So again, and the same thing with what Rihanna said about loving yourself. Loving yourself is something that is a practice that's going to allow you to feel good about who you are, right? And so in order for you to, like you said, you attract what you are. And if you're feeling good about who you are, then you're going to attract other people in your life who are also feeling good about who they are, right? So it makes sense. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Natalia. Thank you so much. Alex, if you want to give us some power punches of powerful wisdom from your knowledge bank, man. What is the law of attraction? How do we access it? How do we use it in the best way so that we can achieve our dreams?
Okay, wonderful. I love exactly what everybody said. All of the ladies, very beautiful insight. And also, once again, just before I begin with my perspective, you know, because once again, we're all having this human experience from a different perspective. So a lot of what people understand as attraction might be different for you or me or her or them. Manifestation might mean something different to him, her, them, or they. So with that being said, you need to look at it from a place of non-judgment, a place of just neutrality. So with that being said, you know, when it comes to the law of attraction, how it has impacted my life is the more I started to understand that everything I do was a flow of energy. It was either me giving it or receiving it, or both. Energy never dissipates, and also the effort that you put in on a physical spectrum sometimes might not equate to someone who's more in tune or aware from my perspective of what I came across. For example, I'll give you an example. You've got Joe and Joe over here, okay? Joe lives in South Africa, and the other Joe lives in, for example, in Australia, okay? And they have different surroundings, okay? They're the same age, they're from the same source, but their surroundings are different. The water which they drink is different. The food which they ingest is different. The programming which they watch is completely different. Joe in South Africa has more nature programming, more things about planting and togetherness and languages. Whereas Joe B in Australia is more about putting together industry. They're seeing programming where is more based on putting together industries and a lot of corporations, for example, a lot of, what can I say? A lot of what the world looks like today, for example. And you're exposed to a lot of that programming on that side, Joe is. And then when you take them both, and then you ask them, what is it that you see life as? They'll both have a completely different outlook based on that hardwiring, programming, environment, etc., which they've been exposed to, because they don't know any other way. So it's difficult for them to actually understand that their life that they have now or currently is by their choice, when in actual fact, it is your choice. So now, coming back into equating these two stories with myself, is I was going through life, people pleasing quite a bit, going out to places which I had no business going out to because I did not want to be alone. I would go to work just because of the simple fact that I needed to catch a paycheck so that I could carry on, day-to-day living. And that is all I saw it as. There was no motivation, deeper motivation, which we are both all of us, we're all tapped into that deeper motivation. And I was not tapped into that. So in essence, I was just a vessel floating and pretty much being a victim, or being in a victim mindset, because everything that happened to me that was wrong, as Natalia said, you blame other things. You blame external factors, like, why am I like this? Why is my life like this? Why do I have these relationships? You know, why am I at these places? The questions are endless. They go on forever. And all of these questions, once again, in stages, kept popping up, kept coming in. And with that, I started to understand and put into practice, first and foremost, things such as cleaning your vessel via fasting, meditation, yoga, all of these sort of Eastern practices, and these practices which have been sort of shunned or put to the wayside or considered as hocus pocus, by society, or the programming which we are accustomed to, without even having, engaged with it, not even seeing what it is for itself in its entirety, with no judgment, from a place of neutrality. And so once I started to open these doors up, it just cascades. When you go into the rabbit hole, as they say, especially when it comes to manifesting, and you realize that all the energy that you put out, and every day when you wake up, if you put your focus back on grounding yourself, breathing, and asking yourself what it is that you want to see around you every day. What experiences would you love to experience every day? And that's what I did. About 3 years ago, I said, I want to experience laughter every day. I want to be happy every day, with no external factors, no external stimulants, no external people, no external places, no external things. And right now, I can safely say, and happily and proudly say that I've attracted all of that. So everything around me, from work to day to family to relationships, are only of pure of heart and from my heart center. And I'm very proud of that.
That's pretty awesome, Lex. Thanks so much for sharing. I know that we have attracted our own connection because of the law of attraction. That's something that I truly believe is real as well. And you talk about grounding, you talk about meditation, you talk about fasting, you talk about yoga, and all these practices which a lot of people may be unconscious to, knowing that they actually are really good for you. A lot of people may just not like it, or may just not believe in it. So what do you say to those people who don't feel that these kind of forms of, connection, to build within yourself, are necessary for your growth, evolution, conscious expansion? What do you say to people like that who are not open to that, or who don't want to do that, or don't believe that they need to do that in order to live the best life?
That's a very tough one. I think we've touched on this briefly. For me, what I've learned is, forcing anything just results in a breakdown completely. So for me, I'd not force anyone, especially in my immediate circle. People think I'm crazy, and I'm happy with that. I know how that sounds to some of you, because we've been through that. When you start to transform and evolve, and your own energy starts to gain momentum, those that are in tune feel it, and they will come to you. And also, that is what attraction is. It's putting your energy on a certain level whereby you are attracting, as opposed to running towards tirelessly, more than likely endlessly, to a brick wall. So getting yourself aligned internally just means clearing all of the dust, the cobwebs, the rot, the rubbish, the outdated programming, which no longer serves you as an individual, which therefore will enable you to be open-minded and open energetically to receiving that which is on your wavelength. So to those who are naysayers, I say, try it. Try and get in your own energy, get in your own authentic self, in your own authentic being. And I guarantee in 6 months, even less than that, with the amount of energy that is coming into the earth right now, celestial energy, light codes, beautiful light codes, activating everything. I mean, even in the systems which have been holding us down in terms of the conscious level of humanity for eons, it's shaking up everything. And this is what it's doing. Isolation is forcing everyone to go inside. And those that don't want to go inside of their own choice will have the most difficult task of experiencing a breakdown without their consent, because it's going to happen. And when it does happen, believe me, it happened to me at certain points when I resisted change. Life will eject you out of situations, places, and things, and people, addictions, all of that. It will eject you out of there. And it's very painful. It's very sore. It's lonely. But on the other side of that means that you are pure energy, source, love, and light. And also you authentically yourself, ultimately.
Powerful, man. Absolutely powerful. Thank you so much, Lex, for sharing that. Now, Rihanna, I want to go to you and talk to you about how you're putting into place the law of attraction in your life moving forward, now that you've stepped back, that you've focused on loving yourself, that you're doing these rituals, that you're meditating, or you're, making this conscious sorry, my brain's just gone dead. This is the best. No, it's fine. I'm okay. I'm not, I think I love the fact that I'm not perfect, and I'm imperfectly perfect. Sometimes these things happen, and it's also I want people to see this as a positive thing, that we have this inner critic, we have this self-doubt, and this voice inside our head that sometimes comes in and tells you that you're not good enough, or you're not doing it right, or whatever. And sometimes it happens to me. I'm still reprogramming my mind from when I woke up a couple of years ago, and I was very low in self-esteem, and low in confidence, and low in self-worth, and so it is a process. But the more that you acknowledge it, the more that you open your heart, and the more that you don't run away from it, the more that you can expand and grow as a person. And so I just had a moment, right? I just had a moment here where I lost what I was going to say, but now I just turned it around and I just healed myself.
Yeah.
So this is live for you guys. But Rihanna, please share with us your journey now moving forward, that you've invested in yourself, and now how are you using the law of attraction to now manifest your dreams, to manifest your goals, to manifest your growth, right, as an entrepreneur, and connecting with the world and changing other. Your company is called Modern Day Goddess, and so your mission now is to pay it forward so that you can make an impact on other people's lives, because you know what you've gone through and how you've come out of it. So please share with us.
Look, I came on a point that I felt finally at home in myself, and I felt for the first time love and peace and joy inside myself, and that was so mind-blowing. I was like, whoa, I want to share this, I want to share the things I did in my life that changed me completely. And I would say that that I'm still listening every day to what feels good for me, because others can say like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do that, this is good for you. Also with spiritual teachers or with wisdom, people can say like, okay, this is good for you, this is good for you, but you always have to listen to yourself. You know always what is good for you. And that is really like listening to your own heart and intuition. And you can use these beautiful teachings and spirituality as guidance, but always feel in your own heart, like, is this resonating with me? Is this true for me? And is this my path? Because I also believe that through our experiences in life, we grow, right? we experience our life and others experience their life. Everybody has their own path, and it's up to us what we do with these experiences. We can choose to do things differently in our life if we want to stop the suffering, you know. So my advice for everybody is like, always listen to your own wisdom, because we are so powerful. Everything is already in us. We are whole, and we are so powerful. And in order to feel that power, you have to come back to yourself, and you have to find out for yourself what it is what you want in life, you know. Because also with the law of attraction, you have to know what you want. What is it what I want to attract? What is my dream life? I didn't know that a couple of years ago. I didn't know who I was or what I truly wanted it, because I was so distracted by other people and what other people want and what society wants, that I was completely lost. And it's really important to feel like, okay, what is it what I truly want? And if you have that clear for yourself, you can also take action. Like, you can take little steps in order to build up your dream life. And also, what I want to say, it's really important that you are really conscious about what you let in. So I mean, be careful with media, like with news and with negativity, with people who gossip. You really have to choose consciously for yourself and for your highest good. And with that, you
Rihanna,
sometimes have to make, yeah.
Can I just ask you, you said something there, and I just wanted to know if you could take us a little bit deeper into understanding what were you going through in terms of you saying that you were kind of living or being dictated by other people's expectations of you, so that, you know, people who are watching and people who watch this on a replay can kind of understand what you were going through. And now, because you've come out of it, you took the action yourself to go, you know what, that's not the life that I'm supposed to be living, and I'm getting out of that situation. What were you going through?
Yeah, I had a really low self-worth, and I was not really loving myself. So I really needed from others this approval and this love. And with that, I lost myself, because I was really validating what others what others want from me. And that changed completely when I started to build up self-love. So also when I start to make conscious decisions about what is it that I let in, and is this really yeah, good for myself, and is this really lift me higher? And I really took like conscious decisions, like, okay, is this good for me or not? And if it's not good for me, I have to choose for myself. And that were like all kinds of little steps that brought me closer and closer and closer to myself. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. You know, I can resonate with you there, and I'm sure that a lot of people can. You know, I was also lost, and now I'm found, but it was to do with relationships. I was lost in the relationships of believing that I needed someone to be happy. I needed someone else to make me happy. I needed to be with someone to be happy. And that was
Yes.
the validation that I felt that I needed. And so I was losing myself in everybody else's life. I was trying to find me. I was trying to discover me in everybody else's life, whether that was my friends, whether that was my family, whether that was drinking alcohol, whether that was drugs, whether that was the girls that I was in relationships with, you know. And I look at that now, and yeah, I was unconscious about it at that time during those relationships. But when I think about it now, it's exactly what I was doing. I was losing myself in those relationships because I believed that external sources was going to give me the happiness, was going to give me the love, was going to give me the joy that I was searching for. So, you know, it's powerful stuff. And, you know, thank you so much for sharing, Rihanna. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Natalia, now you're super big on manifestation. I know you're really passionate about it. We had an amazing Instagram live a couple of weeks ago, which was so powerful. And we talked about the law of attraction. Now, how are you using the law of attraction on a daily basis to transform your life, to elevate your life, to attract the things that you want in your life so that you can live the best life?
Well, I have certain routines and certain things that I do. And now I've done it for so many years that it's just become kind of a part of me and a part of how I live life. But even both on good days and on bad days, I do my best to kind of brainwash myself into feeling good. And when I say brainwash, I mean it like lightheartedly, you know, because I just mean that there's certain things we can do to feel better. There's always a better feeling thought. There's like, I don't know if you've heard about this method. It's called the choose again method. And it's something I do all day long, every day. And the choose again method is something that Gabrielle Bernstein, she talks about. And basically it is that if you have a thought that feels uncomfortable, you can always choose a better feeling thought. So during my day, because all of us, when we just live a normal life and we are, you know, going on about our normal day, certain things will come along, and certain thoughts, especially because this mind of ours is just constantly roaming with thoughts, and not all of them will be good. And then the bad ones, if they make us feel bad, we can choose again. And then the question to ask yourself, that I ask myself, is what would be a slightly better feeling thought than this? What would make me feel slightly better, you know? And if I feel really frisky, you know, I'll ask myself, what is the best case scenario here in this, you know, if I have a very negative thought, or I'm thinking, everything's going to go badly and it's going to go, you know, what if this happens and this happens? Then just turn it around and being like, oh, but remember, I create my own reality. So what do I want to happen? What is the better feeling thought that I can reach for here? And basically we have like emotional stages. So it's very unrealistic to jump from being depressed to being high on life. But what we're doing here with the choose again method is that we're just jumping step by step. You know, we're like, I feel very bad. What is a better feeling thought? It's, I believe I can feel better in an hour. Oh, that was a better feeling thought. What's a better feeling thought than that? Actually, if I feel better in an hour, my whole day is going to be better, and so forth, so forth, so forth. So that's one of the ways that I kind of use, I use the law of attraction in the sense that I know how my life is created. And also the thing is that once you use the law of attraction, I'm sure all of you can relate to this, is that you start seeing all these little signs, right? Because you know how the universe works and the world works. So you actually notice when you just have been speaking about, you know, computers all day, and suddenly you'll see, you know, you'll walk out the door and there'll be one laptop after the other, like crossing your path in different ways. Like that, it's so funny. So I'm aware of it all the time, and then I just deliberately change my energy every day as best I can. And it doesn't mean that I don't have bad days and good days. It just means that I deliberately try to vibrate what I want, right? So, and ultimately the highest frequency is love. So giving love and receiving love and being love is basically the highest vibration we can exude. So that's, I try to live my life from the heart space, because that's where everything begins, and that's just what feels best, basically.
Nice. Absolutely. Open your heart, because when you open your heart, you open yourself up to life, to the universe, to the world, to really living. You know, the bigger your heart, the bigger your life. I truly, truly believe that. And it's really, really powerful when you start living from the heart. Drop the ego.
Yeah.
You know, I know the ego is there. You know, love the ego, but understand and be conscious about it, you know, because everything that's part of you, even your negative emotions, even your self-doubt, love that. You know, that's there for a reason, you know, and love every part of you, who you are. So Yeah, that's really powerful. Natalia, we got a question from Yu Shen Lim. What are your favorite source materials, books or speakers that expand on this subject, being the law of attraction?
Oh, I love to talk about this. I do have my very, very favorite, which is Abraham Hicks. And Abraham Hicks is an energy source from higher consciousness that is channeled out through a woman called Esther Hicks. So if you don't know about this body of work, you could just Google Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, and there'll be millions of YouTube videos on the subject. And they have a web page, and there is so much information. You can find them on Instagram. And initially, when The Secret was made, this movie called The Secret, Abraham Hicks were part of the team of experts that were going to talk about the law of attraction when all of this came out, like years and years ago. But they actually ended up not participating in The Secret, the movie, because they have more of The Secret, the movie is very much just about thought and things. And what Abraham Hicks talks about as well is that it's thoughts, feelings, things. And there's a higher purpose to it all, right? So there's the whole spiritual dimension to it as well. But I definitely recommend Abraham Hicks. I've listened to they've written several books. You can find them as ebooks, or you can listen to them or buy them hard copy, whatever you choose. There's a lot of material there. And I would say that would be the best. I could mention many teachers and sources, but this is the source of it all. Like, this is where it all started. No, the universe is where it all started. But this term, the law of attraction, this is where it kind of comes from. So Abraham Hicks.
Nice. Thank you, Natalia. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
And I just want to mention Bob Proctor as well. I know he's a big advocate for the law of attraction, and he talks about a lot of different understanding, how your paradigm works and how to, change your habits and habitual behavior. And he's all about the law of attraction. So you can check out Bob Proctor as well on Google or Instagram or YouTube. He has a lot of content out there. Lex, man, you mentioned your fasting, now part of the law of attraction and part of living your dreams, part of manifesting your dreams, part of living in your truth, becoming a better version of yourself every day, evolving, growing. This is what the High Vibe Project is all about. It is a growth project. It is about self-development. It is about unlocking your greatness. It is about, raising your vibration and living the life, the ultimate life. And so using the law of attraction, I know that you're big on your fasting, and I was wondering if you could please, it would be an honor for you to share a little bit insight into your world of why your fast is so important and what it actually does to your body in order for you to grow as a person and to reach a conscious level of, a new level of enlightenment on every time you do that.
Okay, thank you guys for all of your views. I'm actually so, I'm incredibly blessed. I feel so much gratitude while I'm listening to all of you, because for once, it's good to be in a position where we are with a lot of like-minded beings, okay? And so therefore, the information which I'm going to share with all of you today now will be easy to absorb and not as confusing as it should be, because this is basic, ways of life. It's a lifestyle. So let me start off there. I picked up fasting in, let me say, about 3 years ago, when I started to make the major transformations in my own life. First and foremost, in the work side of life. That's where things started to break down first, before I took a hold of that breakdown. So in that day, I was going out a lot to bars, clubs. Also, a lot of that was to do with my emceeing. I've always been an MC for a number of different events, anything from, weddings to just a random party goers event or a club event. And so you know, my popularity and me being on the streets quite often, based on, you know, this part of my job, it sort of took over my life. And I started looking for justification outside, at these places, with these people, started delving into darker things. And over, you know, over about 6 months, a year, my base well-being started to diminish. My base energy was very low. Although I would train every so often, I would eat generally healthily. It still didn't work out because internally, what I would tell myself, the things I would put into my body, the programming I would surround myself with, that TV, radio, through people, places, and things, was just very negative. It was on a lower vibration, meaning that it was things of, you know, angst, anger, fear, mistrust, you know, delusions of grandeur, okay, amongst a lot of other negative sort of emotions, which were very prevalent in that time. And so, you know, my family started to, you know, notice different changes in me. I also started to notice that I wasn't happy. I started getting lower vibration thoughts, such as suicide, such as doing some really badass shit. I'll put that in inverted commas. You know, on the streets with a bunch of other misfits, you know, because once again, you attract what you are like and that which you vibrate. So I was in that vibratory state of being, and therefore I was attracting those people very easily, and those things very easily. It was like, whereas now, if I try and attract those things, it's very difficult. I don't know where to begin, you know, just to put that in there. But you know, I started to get these questions from my family members, and also, you know, one or two really close friends. You know, you get those people who really know you, and they started questioning, like, what's going on with you? Your energy levels are not the same. You're not shining as bright. Maybe you're looking dull, or your hair is looking brittle. And I started to get it more and more. So what I started to understand and become aware of in my life at that time was, the more something became prevalent in my life via people's conversations, or maybe a TV show, or a synchronicity, whatever the case may be, if it was on the same subject more than twice, then it meant that I had to focus on it. I had to be aware of it, sorry, not focus on it. I had to try and understand why this information is coming to me in this way, in this manner. And in that, I started to, you know, question myself. And I did get offered help, you know, detox help. And being the stubborn Taurus that I am, I obviously rejected that, which is very sad in hindsight. However, that was very powerful also in hindsight, in that I looked for the answers for myself authentically. And in that, I came across fasting methods. Fasting in the sense of Islam, the religious, the religion, where they fast for a month during the month of Ramadan. So I did that, not being religiously inclined that way, but just, you know, having done reading as to what it does to reset your system in terms of on a cellular level, burning karma, which is another thing spiritually, burning ties, burning negative energies, negative ties, karmic ties in this life, if you believe if you have multiple lives or not. But I do. So I started to just, you know, immerse myself in the studies, in the wisdom. And in that, I developed a method for myself, which was along my lifestyle, which was very sustainable and also very easy to do with no money. You don't need to be a big billionaire. You don't need to be someone who is a big shot. You don't have to have an ego. It's minus the ego. You can just be a person seeking clarity inside, internally. So that's what I did. I started fasting, and you know, to this day now, I don't regret how everything has went. And I also, you know, I love the fact that I found fasting, in that it was able to literally burn all of this negative vibes, addictions. If I have to, tell you about the way it's not like it's 1 day or 2 days and you start to, sort of taper off on the feeling of wanting something or that negative vibe. It's more like a switch, which is literally you wake up and boom, all of a sudden you do not feel the need for it. You feel sick when you are around it. Things like beef, for example. I used to love eating beef. When I started fasting more regularly, I started to put down certain foods naturally. And in that, I ascended in my consciousness. Mystical things started happening. We can get into that, at a later stage. But overall, the cleansing of your vessel in order for you to let in purer energy, more light, and also to understand who you are. And once you understand who you are, you can then move forth and start attracting exactly what it is that you desire in this life.
Bro, very powerful, man. And for me, I'm very interested in it. I know that we haven't actually told our viewers that you actually have a program or a platform where people can actually access your 72-day fast, 72 hours, sorry, not 72 days, that's too long. But 72 hour fast. So you know what, while you're talking, man, just quickly let everybody know what you're doing.
Yes, so basically, I think the video is live, if I'm not mistaken. I hope it's live.
Yeah, man, we got you.
Oh, perfect. All right. So what I've done is I've put together a fasting method, which is over 3 days, which is 72 hours. It is during the full moon. The full moon for me, in spiritual terms, is a governor of water. The moon is so powerful when it comes to tides, pulling them in and out, that if you really think about it and delve in deeper and ask yourself, what can it do for water within a body, within a vessel which is conscious? What can you do with that water within you to actually create change or create a catalyst or create the environment for crystalline change? So that is the reason why it's over the full moon period. And what we do is we have purified water, we purified ourselves. In the package, which I give you, it's composed of PDFs, audio Bibles, as well as a short introductory video from me to you guys. Let me just join this audio, sorry. From me to you guys, just to ease you into it and also to help you understand that this journey is for each individual. You should not go into it looking for anything other than self-improvement, self-enlightenment, and also to humble yourself. One of the important things I've gained in terms of wisdom from fasting is that, it burns a lot of negativity energetically. So whatever it is that you have energetically blocking you from perhaps manifesting that dream life, finding that relationship, in whatever it is, it first all starts with yourself, by controlling your hunger, controlling your field, your auric field. What are the things that you put into it once you've done the fast? You're more mindful of all of the things that you bring around your being as a whole. So I wouldn't say it's a fasting method, although I call it the fasting method. I'd like to call it a lifestyle method, which can actually bring the power back into each and everyone's hands, guaranteed, that actually goes into it with an open mind, with no ego, and just looking to better themselves. And I'm excited for it to actually go out. I'm like shaking. I hope that's enough information
Nice.
for right now.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. It may not be something that people are interested in. Maybe it is something that's triggered you right now and you're like, wow, you know what? Maybe that's something I want to invest in and challenge myself, because it would probably be very challenging to actually do a 3-day fast, 72 hours, and not eat, only drink water. That's something for your mind. That's mind power right there, because your ego is going to be telling you, no, I'm hungry, I want to eat. you know. So
Exactly.
raising your vibration, raising your frequency, and detoxing your body so that you are cleaner, so that you feel better. Definitely something to look into. Thank you so much. I want to tell and give the opportunity for every panelist, you, Lex, Rihanna, Natalia, if you would like to please share your social media on the chat so that everybody has the opportunity to actually, if you enjoy the conversation, you like to support the panelists or get more information from them so that they can help you along your journey, and you can also follow them and show your support on Instagram and their social media platforms. So
yes, I'll let the ladies go first. Definitely.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll just get you to just type it in the chat, Lex, and let people know where they can find you, man. So I'm going to go to Rihanna, and I would like to go to a couple of these questions that we have. Where are you? I'll unmute you. Okay, and I'll just get Lex off. Rihanna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All righty. So we've got a couple of questions. One of them is from like Steve. Just dropped the T. Eve. Okay. Sorry, I'm pronouncing Eve's name wrong. Okay. So she asked, where is it? Okay, how to let go of how will I manifest? So I guess in other terms as well, how will I create the life of my dreams? How will I create something that I really want in my life? How do I start?
Beautiful question. And I think, and it's quite challenging if I speak for myself, to really have trust. So to have the intention clear for yourself, this is what I want, and then surrender. That's quite challenging, of course, but trust that the universe will give to you that is good for your highest good. And that can be also different from what you think that is good for you, if that is a little bit understandable. So really having that trust, like, okay, I have this intention, this is what I really want, this is what I really want to manifest, this is how my dream life looks like, and then try to let go and have trust that it will come to you. In what form then? Yeah, that we just don't know how it comes, you know. It can be in many forms, but yeah, to let go of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely not easy. And again, as I spoke about with my own personal journey, how will I manifest? How do you let go of the fact that, you know, you're trying to break through this box maybe that you've been living in? You know, you're trying to like rip off the mask that you've had on for a long time, that you know that is stopping you from living your truth or creating your future dreams or desires that you want to live. And so for me, it was desire, it was will, it was belief in myself, it was my own conscious action to disconnect myself from the world, you know, and come back to me and spend time with me and say yes to me, and then take action. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know, like, if I look at all my whole process from the beginning to today, I never planned any of this. I like when I started my Instagram, when I started my social media, and I just started speaking, I was just believing in myself and I started speaking my truth. I didn't think even 2 years ahead and say, I'm going to start my own company. I'm going to start this high vibe project because I want to change the world, because I want to inspire people, because I want to give people the keys so that they can unlock their ultimate selves. You know, they can unlock their greatness so that they can know that they do have a purpose. There's a reason why you're here in this world, you know. So it's about starting. I think it's just about trusting yourself. I think that's the major key, Rihanna. Trust yourself.
Yeah, and really beautiful what you're saying, because also, like, people will come on your path, experience will come on your path, money will come on your path, you know, and that is just how it works. Then that is the magic of it also. We don't
Absolutely.
know in forehand how it's going to be, but it will happen step by step and step. Yeah, and that is the magic of it.
Absolutely. You know, I know it's great to have a vision. It's great to have a plan. I know a lot of people promote writing things down, you know, planning for it, and move, and that way it gives you a picture. You're allowed to use your imagination in your mind of what it is that you actually want to, you know, create. And you know, what you focus on expands. And so the more that you do that, the more you move towards that direction in your life, and you know, your dreams soon become your reality, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. And you know, just taking, there's one more question I want to get to as well, which is from Elizabeth Wood. And I might go to Natalia and get you to answer this question for Elizabeth. I'll just unmute you, Natalia. Appreciate you greatly. I am amazed. Okay, where are you? It's here somewhere. Let me just find it. Sorry, there it is. Okay. Is there any significant meaning around people from the past reconnecting all of a sudden, question mark, in positive ways, i.e. 10 years, no contact, and then they get in touch, in line with our topic of law of attraction? Natalia.
Yes. The answer is yes, because nothing that ever happens for no reason at all. And in this specific case, it can, I don't know what the certain circumstances have been, but it will mean one way or the other that you have vibrationally aligned with either how you used to feel when you used to be in contact with this person. So that's why you're reconnecting now, because you have kind of reached a state of consciousness and vibration and feeling that you also felt at that point in your life. And that's why you're kind of being drawn to each other like magnets. Or it can mean that you've actually kind of subconsciously or consciously missed this person and wanted this person to come back into your life, or you associate this person with a lot of good things. And then now, because you're feeling really good, because I got the sense that this is in the good sense, right? Like people coming back that you want to come back into your life. So it can also be that you are actually feeling so good that you're just attracting all kinds of things that you wanted for a long time. So maybe you wanted to be in contact with this person for a few years, or you had like kind of a subconscious want for that. And now because you're feeling so good, you're suddenly attracting it. So that can certainly be the case. And sometimes it's maybe they're vibrating on your level, but the truth of the matter is that the bottom line is that either way, you are now at this moment in time vibrating on the same frequency. So that means that you're like on the same level emotionally and consciously, and that's why you're reconnecting. So of course there's a purpose, and sounds like a really joyful and soulful reunion. So there's always a reason, and there's always a purpose for that as well. Nothing, literally nothing that comes into your reality, whether it be people you see on the bus, even though they are super insignificant maybe to you, nothing that comes into your reality is it. Let me phrase it in another way. Everything that comes into your reality, you have attracted, and it's coming into your reality for a certain purpose.
I love it. So great, man. So great. It just, you know, this is the whole beautiful thing about what we're doing here. We're connecting with each other, and we're learning from each other, and we're consciously expanding our mind through this conversation. You know, I'm sitting here listening to you talk about this and talking about everything happens for a reason. And there's a reason why you have specific conversations with people, just like the conversation that I was having with my brother-in-law this afternoon. It happened for a reason, for him to question me about the law of attraction, for me to actually speak to my family about it, you know, and it made me think. But it's that kind of awareness, right? It's that kind of, you know, consciousness that you have. And when you start gaining access to that kind of level of consciousness, being so aware of your thoughts, this is where you really start to, you know, be a little, like, I've always been a deep thinker, but very analytical with my thoughts and what's going on in my mind. And so this is where you start growing, because you're so aware and awake of what's happening. You're not unconsciously just letting things just flow by and not even thinking about them, you know. So yeah, powerful stuff, Natalia. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Lex, now I love doing this through these kind of events. And man, how you feeling? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling excited. You know what? For me, this fasting method, I would love to just let people know that you can start it from any level. You know, you don't have to be Superman. You don't have to be top-notch, powerhouse. You know, come as you are. Come exactly as you are. What I can definitely guarantee you is that you're going to learn a lot more about yourself. And I feel like it's my part of my mission, you know, is to allow people to find themselves again. Because I remember what it was like not knowing what I was doing. Even though we're living life, you go through life sometimes and you just don't know what you're doing. And things just happen and you have no idea why they happen. And so once you put the power back in control within your own vessel, that translates to yourself energetically. You're then able to manifest and also attract, like what Natalia just spoke on now, in terms of old relationships. Those can either come as a means to show you what did not work and what you know, you need to change, or what you need to revisit because it was actually on your vibration, your truest vibration. So those are very tricky, you know, that it can be either or. However, when you are cleansed, when you are clear of mind, when you are clear of body, clear of heart, clear of intent, you're easily able to manifest. You're easily able to move forth in your life. You're easily able to discern what is the real information, what is this bogus programming which I'm being fed, what's draining my energy, what's keeping me from progressing, what's keeping me from living heaven on earth. Because I'll tell you right now, heaven on earth is a beautiful place. Once you see just a glimpse of it, you will not want to do anything else. I mean, you'll actually find yourself questioning what it is that you were doing to begin with. Exactly. And in that, you start to meet the people. For example, everyone on this panel, gratitude, thank you to all of you. And also places, opportunities that are in alignment with that what you are looking to do, that which your heart really desires, with clarity. Because when you don't have that clear clarity, your mind and your heart fight each other. When they're all together and they merged and they're talking pretty much on all levels, your intuition is firing. You're hearing little whispers, you're getting synchronicities, you're seeing synchronized numbers everywhere on billboards, car registrations, wherever. And also you're getting maybe that one call from that person who you were thinking about. Casting further, your energy is growing. You are becoming more powerful and therefore becoming a magician, an alchemist of your own life. And so I implore everybody, no matter where you are, who you are, what level of fitness, how rich or poor you are, does not even matter. What matters is you're looking for yourself, and possibly this can be a way or a key for which you can open the doors for yourself to find that which you're looking for.
Amazing. Amazing, Lex. Thank you so much for sharing, man. Talking about synchronicities, I just want to bring it to everyone's attention. I know some people may not believe it. Some people may not be aware of, you know, the signs that the universe gives us on a daily basis. And it can be through many different forms. But I just want to share with you one thing that I experience, and experience it sometimes on a daily basis, maybe every second day. But even today, just before I jumped on to start the Zoom meeting, and I looked at my Instagram. And it's actually a friend of mine who was a previous panelist when we were talking about escapism. And her post is on here, and I even screenshotted it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but on the bottom, I've got one comment, one heart, and one tag. And if everyone can see that, I don't know if you can see it, but, and don't worry about the picture. That's just a picture, whatever. But it came up 111, and like my numbers are always 1111, 1122, 2211. You know, when I see triple numbers, 222 or 333 or whatever, and it's just like, I look at that and I just smile and I just say, you know, I'm aligned. I believe in myself. I'm in tune with my soul, with my spirit. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I'm in the right direction. I'm connected with the right people. I'm doing the right thing, you know, and even if you don't believe in the signs, even if you look at it and you're like, yeah, whatever, that's just a, you know, a conspiracy, or it's whatever. It's a form of believing in yourself as well. I see that, I look at it and I say, you know what, thank you. I believe in me, and I know that the direction that I'm going in my life is the right path, you know. So I just wanted to share that with you because the truth is out there, you know. It's just up to you to kind of wake up to that and and believe. So let's go to
Luke, sorry,
yeah,
Luke.
yeah,
I would love you to actually share. I'd love you to share that synchronicity you had between you and I on the fasting.
Oh, but that's the law of attraction, man. Like the way that we connected, like I think about it, and I was not actually feeling well. I was not feeling healthy. I was feeling a bit weak at the time. And so what did I do? You know, I went on Instagram and I had my friend actually talk to me about this fasting and about, you know, a person called Dr. Sebi, and it's all about holistic health, and it's about, you know, putting in the right foods, ingesting the right foods. And I just felt drawn and connected to knowing that if you fast, if you are sick, and I don't want to go into too much about health because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional about this, but I truly, truly believe it, that if you are sick, if your body has a disease or something like that, and you want to clean that, then one way of doing that is by fasting. One way of doing that is by detoxing your whole body, as Lex says, your whole vessel. And so I started doing my research on social media. I started getting on Instagram, and I started finding all these posts on alkaline diet and on the right foods and what to eat, what to drink, what I can do to help myself. And I found a post that was about fasting. And then who did I find on that post with the fasting? Man, everything happens for a reason. And I met Lex, and now we're doing this event and Lex is on the panel, and you know, it starts a new relationship. Same way as Rihanna, same way as Natalia. There is a reason for everything, and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience that we're able to now move forward in our life, support each other, achieve for each other, and hopefully do more work with each other so that we can help the world and change this world, you know, to make it a better, more enlightened place. Lex, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Just one more thing, Luke, before I pass it over to you. I've just answered Siv in the group chat with regards to his question. He said, you can't go from burgers to fasting because you'd be starving already in terms of nutrients. But if you're healthy, you can. In terms of that, you can start at any level. The main thing that's going to play against you is the amount of glucose spiking that you've done with the amount of food that you eat. So that's the only mechanism that's going to be telling your brain and your other brain, your stomach, that, hey, I'm hungry. So you have not yet harnessed the energy enough to switch that off. But what I do have in my method is realignment mechanisms. So that is your meditation, as well as your affirmations, because the more you tell or speak it into your being while you drinking purified water, or even talking to your water. I know it sounds crazy and far out there, but it's outlined in my full method. But what you do is you invoke these energies within the water, and also within these realignment mechanisms, to bring you back down to ground level. as well as grounding in nature, taking walks in nature. Since it's during the full moon, people underestimate the amount of energy in the full moon, especially when you have only water in your gut. If you want to do a bit more research, please check my pages. Otherwise, the release of things like DMT, hormones, etc., like that, happen when the gut is empty, when the gut is cleansed, when the colon is cleansed. So therefore, fasting is just the first stepping stone to allowing you yourself more energy to explore that realm of, those, higher sort of consciousness levels of things. So first and foremost is just start it. You will be hungry naturally, but the aim is to understand that you will be hungry. And the other aim is also to be okay with that and set the goal to get through the 72 hours for the betterment of yourself.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lex. Appreciate that, man. Alrighty, let's go to Rihanna. Where are you? I'm trying to find you. There you are. Rihanna, how are you? How are you feeling?
Good, really good.
That's great,
Yeah.
man. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've shared. One thing that I know is opening your heart and being vulnerable and being able to speak your truth and share your experiences is a very, very challenging and confronting thing for a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that are living in fear. There's a lot of people that have pain within them. There's a lot of people that have a lot of secrets and that may have a lot of shame.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to actually use your voice and communicate in a form where you can actually speak truth into somebody else's pain, or allow someone to actually access that pain and know that that pain actually turns into then being your power. It's really, really a gift, and it really takes courage to do that, as we all know that, your voice, how powerful is your voice? We are speaking and we are communicating and we are learning from each other so that we can all live a better life. So
Yes.
I'd like for you to kind of share a little bit about how you have been able to actually, be filled with this energy and purpose and passion, because this all ties into the law of attraction. This all ties into living in alignment with who you are, because once you start vibrating on a higher frequency and you're starting being in tune with, living your purpose and your truth, then the law of attraction just amplifies, So yeah, I'd just love for you to kind of just go deeper into sharing what you are, actually like moving towards now in your journey, and how you grew out of yourself to go, yes, this is my purpose, this is who I am, and that's why I'm on this universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it was really the realization that I am the creator of my own life. Like, we are all the creators of our own reality. And with really taking responsibility for our own happiness, like you already said before, I was also putting my happiness in other people's hands, and I was also dependent on boyfriends and other people. And when I really started to take my responsibility for my own happiness, and really start to take time for myself, that was just like a major breakthrough, that I also really start to realize, like, whoa, I am the creator of my own reality. I am choosing how I want to live and how I feel, and the happiness is just inside of me. So by really taking time for yourself, and spending time with your own energy, doing the things you love, that is just like already things you can do on a daily basis, that is just mind-blowing.
Sorry, I was just saying, it's all in the action. It's all
Yes,
in you
yes.
actually. It's all in you actually doing the work. And a lot of people, again, it has to be your point in your life where you have felt enough. And sometimes, even though you may be watching this, even though you may be exposed to this kind of content, you're still not at that point in your life where enough is enough, where you're feeling that pain and it's hurting you that much. And that doesn't have to be physical pain. It's normally it's emotional pain, or maybe it's physical pain, you know, and it's going to keep beating you. The universe is going to keep sending you signs and keep pushing you and pushing you. And that lesson is going to keep showing up until you learn it. And sometimes it takes 15 years to learn that lesson, like it took me 15 years.
Yeah. And it's definitely not easy also to make choices, you know, to really break with old habits, to break with people, to really walk away and to choose for yourself, to choose for your soul. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. But also in my darkest times, in this times that I felt rock bottom, when I look back on that, it was like, whoa, there was so much growth. And with that also much joy, because I was really starting to come closer to myself. I was not realizing always in that moment when I felt like really fucked up, you know, but when I look back on it, it was like, whoa, in these times that I felt really rock bottom and really emotional and really like, not good. At that points were like major changes in my life, major breakthroughs, and that is also what I want to say. Like, it can be really painful, and also grief is a part of choosing for yourself, because if you have to break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend because you're feeling like, okay, I cannot spread my wings, I cannot be completely myself, I cannot grow in this relationship, then eventually you really have to choose for yourself, and that hurts also. It hurts to let go of people, and that's also okay to feel that. It's okay to feel everything, you know, sadness, anger, frustration. And what also really helps is to write things down. If you really feel rock bottom, if you feel really emotional, what really helped me was to write everything down, just to start to sit with a journal in nature and just, okay, I feel this, I accept this now that I feel angry or emotional. Okay, I just let it come over me, and I'm just going to write everything down. And that really helped me in this moments that I didn't feel good.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rihanna. That's it's really deep. And again, you know, thank you for speaking your truth. You know, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. You know, this is a growth project, and even during this experience that we are having, this connection, you know, I'm seeing everybody's faces, Natalia, Lex, Adam. I know not everybody has their videos on, but you know, this is a part of your journey, you know, where you can sit back and look. And this is how I do it. This is how I reflect. This is how I access more power and more motivation for myself, by remembering the things that I did for me to get me to where I am. And so now, after this event, or after you listen to this podcast, or after you watch this YouTube video, you may be triggered by a conversation or a comment or something, and you will be able to look back in a year or two when you're doing what you love, when you say, wow, it was that YouTube video, it was that comment that Natalia made or Rihanna made, or it was that fasting method that Lex started talking about that allowed me to access that higher state of consciousness, or that higher self. And when I think about life in that perspective, man, that's amazing. I feel so blessed. Like this, it's beautiful, you know. And I know from my own experiences how many times I've had something be the catalyst for my transformation. And that is the intention of what we are doing here today, is to, in hope and wishing that we can be a catalyst for someone's transformation. Amazing, Rihanna. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Natalia, where are you? There you are. Unmute. Natalia, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I actually had, speaking of miracles, right? I had quite an incident happen 11 or 12 minutes before we had to go online for this talk. I dropped my phone into a bowl of water. The phone that I'm using right now to communicate with everyone. And that was 12 minutes before, and I panicked because my computer isn't working right now. So that was my only, method of talking with you. And I immediately put it into like a bucket of rice, and now it's working. That is a miracle. I don't know what else to say, but I'm very, very thrilled. That was just a little personal story for me today. Like literally I dropped it into a bowl full of water, but all is good. And apparently I was meant to participate in this discussion and not blow everything off because I didn't have a working phone. But yeah, I'm feeling really good. I really love being gathered with like-minded people and talking about this, because after all, this is what I do every day. This is what I believe so strongly in this. And I've seen so many people change their lives by just visualizing and trying to embody the happiness necessary for actual change. And I just want to comment a little bit on the fasting, because I find that is a really and really powerful method to manifesting as well, because when you clean out your vessel and you get less dense, it's easier for the higher consciousness, which is just pure energy, and it's not very dense just as heavy foods and stuff like that, to actually enter your system and really communicate with you and lead you along the path of least resistance towards what you want. So, and I just want to add on to that, because if you want subtle changes, you don't, if you feel like fasting is too extreme for you, what I do is that I just eat very, very light foods. Fasting, of course, it sounds like, I do it myself once in a while, but I don't do it every day, obviously. But in general, just eating very light foods like vegetables and fruits will give you more manifesting powers, because it will be easier for source consciousness and your higher self, your inner being, to communicate with you when your vessel is more cleared out. So like heavy foods, like there's nothing wrong with heavy foods, but like very fatty foods and meat and stuff like that kind of blocks off some of the energy a little bit. And that's what we need sometimes. But when we really want to get out there and manifest and kind of like get the guidance from source energy, I can really recommend in general to eat light and eat light foods. You don't have to become a vegetarian. You don't have to do anything, but just before meditation, try not to have a completely full stomach, try to meditate before you eat, or, because that's really how source consciousness gets into your body and guides you. Yeah, that was just a little note from me.
Yeah, thank you, Natalia. I like how you just elaborated yourself, and I could feel the guidance from your spirit, from God, from source, from the divine just come through you like that. And you spoke about the miracle, and then you moved on to the fasting, and it's also relevant in order for us to understand, what is working for us and what may not be for us. It's definitely something that's powerful. The word miracle, I completely resonate with that. And I look at some of these signs, or I look at all these signs now, and I'm like thinking, maybe they're all miracles. Like, what's a miracle? Well, how do you define a miracle? It's just something that doesn't make sense, and it just happens, and it's incredible, So really, really powerful, Thank you so much for sharing that. And, I guess I live and breathe. I have on my Instagram bio, it says, miracle mindset. And the reason why I have that is because we are miracles. Every day that you wake up and you're breathing, you're a miracle. And that's something that we really take for granted every single day. Sometimes we don't even stop to acknowledge the fact that we are breathing. We don't even have to try to breathe. It's happening naturally. And what a blessing it is to wake up every single morning And so when you live with that kind of self-awareness, wow, the game changes, man, and you start to feel better. And so that means that then you attract better. And when you're living with that gratitude mindset, you know, the more grateful you are for the things that you have in your life, you know, the more things that you will have, you know. So really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome. Can I say one more thing?
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
it's just because we haven't touched upon it so much, and I just want to briefly say the word gratitude journaling, because this is one of the most common practices amongst law of attraction practitioners, which is basically a journal where you, when you wake up in the morning, you sit down with your journal and you write out everything that makes you feel good and everything that makes you feel grateful. And doing this consistently really sets the tone for your day. So, because it basically teaches your mind to focus on what's working instead of focusing on what's not working. And I will say it's one of the most common used practices. I do it myself every morning. You can do it during the day as well. And there's nothing too big or too small to put on a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is just a list, a rampage of things that make you feel good and grateful. I just wanted to add that.
Absolutely. And I'll just counter your conversation just with something that I learned, because everybody learns differently. And for example, I'm not a big reader, and I know that a lot of people love to read. And maybe I just haven't got to that level of consciousness, or haven't got to that level of my life or journey yet where I really connect and I really have the time to invest every single day, and I want to sit down and 30 minutes I'm going to read or whatever. But same thing as journaling, same thing as gratitude. Something that I was doing for about a month and a half was every day I was gratitude, every day was journaling. And I want to just make a note that everybody's different. So you can actually do gratitude by speaking it as well. And it's something that I do as well on a daily basis. When I'm having my cold shower, I say, I'm grateful for the water. I'm grateful to be breathing. I'm grateful to be alive, but I speak it into existence, you know, and not just thinking it, because you
can do it with friends or with your family or with your partner.
Yeah. And it's awareness. It's bringing you back to the present moment, you know, somewhere where a lot of us forget to come back to because we're lost in the past or in the future. And this is the moment right now that is the gift. The present is the present, you know. So powerful stuff. Thank you, Natalia. I really appreciate that. Lex, where are you, man? Yeah, there you are.
I'm here.
You're here. Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm just going to turn your video on. There you are. All right, man.
Perfect.
Look, it's been an amazing conversation. You know, your method of fasting, but not only that, man, just everything that you're sharing, you know, on raising your self-awareness, on raising your self-worth, your self-confidence, your self-consciousness, you know, of getting yourself out of that toxic environment so that you can become aligned with, you know, your true core mission in your life. And that's something that a lot of people definitely struggle with, whether you're in a relationship, whether you've built a foundation already in your life and you're married and have kids, for example. This is something that I know a lot of people struggle with, how to detach or disconnect themselves so that they can find their true self. Because, you know, look, let's face it, some people got married quickly. Some people felt pressure from their families. Some people had cultural expectations. Some people were just pushed in that direction, or some people were influenced by their friends or by what's happening in society for them to go in that direction, get married, have kids. And now they may be at a point where they're like, there's something missing. There's got to be more to life than just being a parent and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a parent or being married or anything like that. But I just raised this because I have 3 older sisters. There's 10 children. You know, I've grown up in a big family and I see the struggles. I see the pain. I see the challenges that arise because of these kind of experiences that people are living through. And it's easy enough for people like myself, who's 35, I'm single, I'm independent, I can do whatever I want. I don't have any dependents except myself, right? And so when you're in a relationship and you have children, or you're married, or you have these obligations, you've got bills to pay, it's very difficult to detach yourself and to actually make a change in your life. So just go into, please, sharing a little bit of your knowledge on what somebody can do who's in that situation, whether it's you know, a relationship, whether you're married, you've got kids, whatever your circumstance. Maybe somebody's died and you're suffering from you know, heartache and pain and sorrow. How do you move forward? How do you, you know, navigate yourself into the light, into the right direction, so that then you can start, you know, living your truth?
Okay, no, interesting question. Very valid question. And I must say it's a question which I always get. Even family members have asked me, you know, certain questions along those lines of how do you integrate it once you've sort of past your prime, or you've got a family and you have this and you've established this, and you wanting to pursue your passion, you wanting to feel lighter again, you wanting to feel happy. It's a very difficult thing, firstly. But difficult doesn't mean it cannot be solved. So what I tell people is it's the way you look at things, firstly, that will determine the outcome. There's a lot of things which I used to think were very difficult just because of what I saw and what I was told, i.e. program. So once I disregarded programming and I went in with, you know, like a child, give a child a ball and watch what the child does. After 2 weeks, that child will be prolific with that ball. They won't know that they're doing a sport or becoming a professional. They just know that I'm doing this, you know what I mean? From a place of no judgment and neutrality. It's the same with life. It's the same with no matter how old you are or where you are. First and foremost, acknowledge where you are. It's okay to not be where you ideally want to be right now in the moment. But in the moment, in the now, you are able to choose consciously, therefore, where you move forward and how you move and what you bring into your auric field, into your being, into your everyday life, into your existence. You know, it's one thing for me to give advice on this, but it's one thing for me to just give keys. So I've stuck to me giving keys with which people can utilize to go ahead and then try and see if these keys fit your lock, because at the end of the day, another fact is not every key is going to unlock that which you're looking for. It could be a combination of things. For me, it was a combination of things which I had to put together. And henceforth, like you said, Luke, with this method, I did not know I was going to develop a method. I had no idea. I just did this for me. Once again, during it, I was just went in looking for answers for myself and going in with no preconceived notions, with no arrogance, with no ego mind. You have to shut that all the way off and ask questions. If you don't know, ask. It's okay not to know everything. It's okay to also feel down. It's okay to feel low. It's okay to ask for help. And where you ask for help is also another big thing. Don't ask for help where the problems come from. Because that's what I also used to do. I used to feel that the same place where I was having these issues is the same exact area where I would find the solution, which is completely the opposite. You have to flip everything on its head and do things which you never did. You have to think a way you never thought. Unlock these different perspectives to open your eye, you know what I mean? So it's very difficult for me to give one thing for people. What I can say definitely from my heart to everyone here and also beyond is that you need to look inside yourself. Number one, acknowledge that you are where you are at this point. Okay. Secondly, you'd have to make a conscious decision to cut off what it is which is making you feel in a bad mood, making you feel shitty, making you feel angry, making you want to resort to all of these addictions and all of these places, people and things, which end up ultimately making me feel worse than I did before I started. So you've got to acknowledge, consciously put your energy in changing. So now you start slowly, bit by bit, whereby you'd say, okay, where is it where in my life where I can make a positive change today? I can change how I drink water or how much water I drink. I can change what I eat. I can literally just, instead of eating white bread, I can maybe look for whole wheat. In most cases, healthier food is cheaper. It's just that people don't care to look or care to go and investigate. Farmers, wholesalers, they sell these things a lot cheaper. I know in South Africa, we're a farming nation. So, you know, a lot of the farming sort of related foods, natural, raw, holistic foods are cheaper to come by, but you would have to go and find them. Once you do, it's very simple. You look at potatoes, for example. Instead of a brown potato, you'd do a purple potato, for example. You'd put in spinach and you would steam it, as opposed to not eating no veggies at all. You would find ways by where you can integrate small changes, like what the ladies were saying, to affect the grand plan, which is always unfolding. And at each point you make a decision for that grand plan, everything in the universe will conspire to bring that to your awareness and into your being. So yeah, from that standpoint, I wouldn't look for quick pills to you know, solve this issue or to get onto this train or whatever the case may be. I would first acknowledge within myself where I am, make conscious changes, and then see exactly where in my life I can start. Even if, for example, with the fast, you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling strong enough to take it on. Like what Natalia said, substitute foods, put in maybe your green leafy raw foods, etc., etc. There are ways, and we are here to help you. Drop a message, drop a question, and we can, you know, most likely go into it a bit deeper. But from that standpoint, acknowledgement and then conscious steps moving forward.
Thank you, Lex. Awesome response. Very deep, very profound. Thank you so much. It's definitely the right thing to do as well, is to, you know, reach out, is to not try to find the answer where you're feeling the pain or where you're know that there's a lack of, you know, living in your truth. And so actually reaching outside of that environment that isn't helping you, you know, grow and develop as a person is definitely the right approach. But like you mentioned, there is not just one answer. You know, there are many forms of, you know, ways that you can and steps that you can actually take to moving in the right direction in your life. And it's up to you to find the keys, you know, and the amount of abundance of information that is out there in today's society. And we are blessed to have the internet and technology to be able to do this, you know, get out there and start asking questions. And you know what, I just want to acknowledge everybody. And if you're listening to this on a podcast or on YouTube or you're watching live, you know, this is where you're actually able to know that you're having access to this information, which is going to lead you to somewhere else, you know. So it's really beautiful. Thank you, Lex, man. Love it. Rihanna, where are you? If I can't see you, I gotta, sorry, 1 second. There you are. Oh, geez. There. Sorry. Rihanna, amazing to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences, what you do. Now, in closing, I want to go and touch on, obviously, again, the law of attraction. And from this session, you know, the whole intention and purpose of us coming together and speaking about the law of attraction is obviously to enlighten people, is to share our experiences, because everybody's been through their own life experiences. So in closing, what can you finish off with you know, to give people, you know, that deeper power on the law of attraction. And if you would also like to share your social medias, where can we find you? Thank you, Rihanna.
Yeah, I have one powerful tip or book that I really want to share with you. I really feel like sharing this because next to the fact that we have like a physical body, right? We have a light body. And in the book I mentioned already in the chat, Magdalena manuscript, you have really powerful tools to work with your life force, with your life energy, and send it up from your pelvic floor up to your crown chakra. And this is really powerful for building up your light body. And if you build up your light body, you will become more powerful, and also manifesting will go more easily. And this book contains really powerful tips for meditation, and all kinds of stuff that really helps to build up that power from the inside out. So I really want to share that with you guys. And
amazing. And
yeah.
Rihanna, if you could share your social media and where can people find you, and what services are you providing at the moment?
Yeah, my social media account is Rihanna _ Sangers. And I have also another account, moderngoddess.nl. And I'm active on both accounts. And I'm really working at the moment on really cool self-love rituals that people really can get online, and that they can really start with building up self-love, self-esteem, and connecting with intuition just from home. So that's where I'm working.
Beautiful.
That's where I'm working on. Yeah.
Amazing, Rihanna. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and yeah, look forward to you know, staying connected and supporting each other's journeys, and you know, cheering for each other. This is something that I really, really love. You know, connecting with, especially during this time. You know, what a better time to be doing something like this, where so many people are on the internet. You know, so many people have access to you know, this amazing world, this virtual world, to make your life better. So I appreciate your time, Rihanna. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you too.
Natalia, it's been amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm humbled. It's a privilege to have you connected now and sharing your manifestation power, you know, your intuition, your you know, the frequency that you're vibrating on is amazing, and everything that you're sharing is it's really a blessing to be able to learn from you as well. So if you would like to finish up in closing and sharing your final tips on the law of attraction, and please sharing your social media and where can people find you, and what do you have on offer for people?
Thank you, Luke. And first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on here. This is such a high vibrational discussion. And thank you to everyone who's been listening in and everyone who will be watching this on YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure. So first of all, I wanted to say that. And then secondly, I just want to end this discussion by saying what a joyful truth, right? What a joyful truth that the universe is initially loving, wanting to help you, as long as you can just unlock these doors, like Alex mentioned, you know, like as long as you can just step into your own power. Isn't it just a great, amazing news, right? The law of attraction is a blessing, even though it might not feel like that sometimes when you're feeling low, but when you just know how to use these tools given to you by the universe, you can change your life. It's inevitable. The law of attraction is real. So when you use it to your advantage, it is inevitable that you will get what you want. It's inevitable. It cannot not happen. So that's just a really joyous truth, and lean into that for a moment. That's really, I love that. And well, I'm very active on Instagram, and I've just started off a YouTube channel as well. So you can find me on Instagram you can search for Natalia Christensen, just my full name. I'm on YouTube, and I have a web page as well where you can read more about what I offer in my coaching services, which is basically a program to get you on the manifesting trail and so you can start attracting the things that you want and actually at the end of the day feel better, right? And there's so many layers to doing that, which we are going through, which I go through with my clients. And one of them is healing, one of them is awakening, one of them is vision boarding, one of them is learning how to write gratitude journal. Like, there's so many layers to this, but if you're interested in more, I would say a good place to start would be my Instagram, and I can write it in the comments as well. But yeah, thank you so much for having me, Luke, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Natalia. It's it's a blessing to have you. Thank you so much for sharing everything. And you mentioned a key word for me. And every time I click with something or I connect with something, I'm like, I gotta say that. And you mentioned layers. You mentioned healing, and I believe that healing is an ongoing process. You know, I'm healing right now, listening to you speak, listening to Rihanna speak, listening to Lex speak. I'm healing right now. I'm releasing negativity. I'm releasing self-doubt. I'm releasing things within me that don't serve me. And I'm allowing the positivity and the positive energy to come into my soul, you know, into my spirit, to enlighten me and to raise my vibration, you know. So it is an ongoing process. You know, it's not just that my grandmother passed away. I was addicted to cocaine and drinking, and all of a sudden I snapped. I woke up, I read a quote, and then I changed my life, and I'm healed. Oh no, I'm still healing, and I don't know it all. I'm not perfect, you know, and that's something that I love to, you know, express, and for people to understand that, you know, when you drop your ego and you start living from your heart, you know, that's where the game changes. You know, that's where you take back your pen and you write the rest of your story, you know, and that's where you find your power, you know. So, you know, it is an ongoing process. Thank you, Natalia. I really appreciate you. You're amazing.
You too.
Lex, man, it's a blessing to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you've shared. I look forward to continuing to work with you, to support you, to cheer for you. I look forward to meeting you in person, as I do Rihanna, Natalia. This High Vibe project is something that, like I mentioned before, I never even saw this coming, but I have to say that I did write about it. I did write about starting some sort of personal development platform or company or something where I was going to travel the world and have conferences and have events and have access and information for people to evolve and to raise their vibration, to live more of a high vibe life, you know. So, you know, what can you give us from the law of attraction in order for people to, you know, live a better life, man? Because that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, indeed. We all came here to this earth to experience heaven on it. We came here to experience heaven on earth, and for different people that means different things. But ultimately, it means living authentically. It means, you know, owning your own energy, owning your own power. Because for the longest time, I knew I had energy, I knew I had power, but I did not know how to utilize it. So it was just being wasted, you know. And one of the things which I want to do is, you know, hopefully give people the keys not to waste their time. These are lessons which, yes, each individual's soul is on a journey towards enlightenment, towards a better, you know, living life, running life. But the first key, I would say, to getting there is first and foremost acknowledging where you are in the now. Everyone is so focused on the past, the future, where in actual fact, in higher spaces of consciousness, the past, present, and the future are all one thing, because they are manifested from the now. It is in releasing detachments from, you know, those sort of restrictions and being present in yourself, knowing that you are this way now. I feel like this now, acknowledging it, and also listening to what your ego mind is saying, because a lot of the time the ego mind will take you away from the real truth, the real stuff. You know, the shadow work which we have to do, which means going past old emotions, maybe cutting out old acquaintances, old places. It's tough. It's very painful. It's sore. Maybe deaths in your family, in your life, friends, whatever the case may be. There will always be negative things which happen. However, if you are able to acknowledge in the now, you give that negativity no power over you to determine where you go on from that point on. And then from there, once you've acknowledged, you are able to consciously, now you consciously make, put in procedures, steps, and things which you can now, or keys rather, which you now can then utilize day by day, little by little, with self-love and gratitude and appreciation for how far you've come. All in the same sort of melting pot of emotions, and also the being of the now, the time of the now, when you actually acknowledge all of this. And then from there, you're able to put into perspective who's actually talking up here. Is it your highest self, or is it your ego cutting you away from your best life? Is it your lack of motivation? Is it the fact that your body's not healthy? You can hear that now. You can start to understand that. Your body you'll pick it up. You pick up these things once you quiet the mind. And then from there, you're able to take conscious steps, whether that means you have to cleanse your vessel via a strong detox, my 72-hour fasting method, or something lighter. Or is it emotionally? Are there emotions via relationships, people, places, things that you have to cut off, that you have to acknowledge, that have been holding you back? A chip on the shoulder, I like to say, which it's things which creep up on you later in life. You know, when you think you've solved an issue, it's usually those deeper rooted, those deep-seated issues which remain as chips on our shoulders, which hinder us from seeing the bigger picture, from moving forward, and from understanding from different perspectives. So the aim of this is to open your perspective. It's to also kill your ego. It's also to live in gratitude, and every day is a happy day. Believe me, if you look for happiness, you'll find it. If you look for the answers, you'll find it. If you look for more negativity, guess what? You'll find it. So it's up to you as the individual, now as the alchemist of your own life, with the power in your hands, with a clear vessel, with a clear mind, with clear intentions, to now then go forth and manifest exactly what it is, what we say, your heaven on earth. And I'll leave you with that.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Yeah, man, that was powerful. Can you just quickly share your social media where people can find you?
Yes, social media I have shared on the chat. However, for Facebook, also you can check out the 72-hour fasting method for May. You can still purchase that. What I've done is really, if I could give this thing out for free, I would. The reason why I've put a price tag on it, which is $10. It's at half price right now, 50%, which is $5. US dollars, that is because I do put in energy. So I believe in transfers of energy that will allow me to create more content, to make a stronger, more tighter, packets of wisdom, of keys, of which to share with everyone around the world. So you can find those on Facebook, Lex Stays Fit page. That is LEX STAYS FITPAGE, Lex Stays Fit page. That is my fitness page on Facebook. My personal page is Alex, in inverted commas, MC Maseko, MASEKO. And on Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram as well as Twitter. And my YouTube channel, that is Lex Stays Fit, one word, LEX STAYS FIT. And once again, I would love, 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 love to have as many people each month, because each month of my fasting method will be tailored to the moon. The moon has an affinity in different stages to, illuminate certain parts of our being, of our denseness, that be that emotional, be that physical, be that whatever the case may be, trauma, whatever the case may be, there's more affinity for you letting that go and releasing it in certain moons. But once again, there's a discussion page also, which is open once you've joined. So you'll have access to me. You can annoy me any time of the day, no matter where you are in the world. I'm very passionate about this. So I'm also excited to see the transformations and also to see how much of a change I can actually make, because right now I'm running and we're going. Right, Luke?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling Rihanna's energy. I'm feeling Natalia's energy. The energy in this room, virtual room is really powerful, man. It's electric and it's incredible, man. It's such a blessing. When you say running, it's something that I wasn't aware of in terms of, moving towards your dreams. And sometimes we're not running. Sometimes we're walking. Sometimes we're skipping. Sometimes we're not going as fast as we really should be moving. And, when I had an epiphany moment when I was in the Shaolin Temple in China, I realized that time is so valuable, and time is so precious. And so if you have something that you believe in, if you have something that you want to achieve in your life and move forward, run towards your dreams, because tomorrow is not promised. And that's exactly what I do. When I came back to Australia, I said, I'm going to run towards my dream and I'm not going to waste any more time. And I'm here to serve and help people, grow and expand and be their best selves, So Lex, thank you so much, man. You're amazing. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And just one more thing, Luke, what you just said there pretty much activated something within my being. When it comes to when you should start making a change, everyone is always looking for a sign. Where's the sign? Where's this? Right now, we don't need a sign. The sign is the fact that we are in lockdown. This is a time whereby we can actually dedicate time to ourselves. We can heal. We can go back years-wise within our being, not physically, but years-wise within our being, to nicely, gently go through what it is that has made us the way we are, and what it is that we need to release in order to become that which we envision in dreams. Because I know a lot of people's dreams are getting wilder. That's because Spirit is talking. And I'm telling you now that Spirit is already calling. So it's up to you to just say, all right, drop this right now, or pick up this, or do this, and let me start. Whether it's just writing it down on a piece of paper, one letter, you've already made progress. And I'm proud of you for that. So let's focus on putting down that one letter towards that life which I envision myself living. And therefore, everything else will follow. You do not need to know every single thread of how it's going to come about, you living your best life. All you need to do is be pure of heart and also move with intent, little by little, each and every day.
Thank you, Lex. Powerful stuff, man. I received that. I think we all received that. It's incredible. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. It is another Expert Talk event that I am privileged and blessed, honored to be hosting with the High Vibe Project. We hope that you found this valuable. If you're listening to this on a podcast or via our YouTube channel, thank you so much for your support. If you want to follow us, we are available on all social media platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I said LinkedIn already, but yeah, at the High Vibe Project. Sorry, at High Vibe Project, all one word. And if you want to contact us or you have any questions, you can easily send us an email as well, highvibeproject@gmail.com. Next weekend, we have another session of Expert Talks, and the first one is on Friday, Sydney time, 7:30 p.m. And it is on Through Adversity, Positivity is Key. And that is the roundtable discussion with one of our co-founders, Kwa, Tran. Amazing. I can't wait for that one. I hope that you'll join us then. This is Luke Mindpower. I'm your host, and I will see you next weekend, actually. Thank you so much to all the panelists. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to staying connected. Much love. Peace. Take care. See ya.